Libby, oh, it's the Libby Show. The Libby Show. Hey everybody, I'm Steve Moakler, and you're watching The Libby Show.
How did she do it? Do it.
Libby. Oh, Libby. Oh, Libby.
3, 2,
Libby.
1.
It's the Libby Show. Steve Moakler, welcome to the Libby Show. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just here quarantining, camping out like everybody else. How are you holding up?
We're doing pretty well. We actually, we just moved 2 weeks ago. So it's kind of worked out well for us. We've been able just to unpack boxes and, hang mirrors and TVs and walk around and meet the neighbors. So it hasn't been that hard for us to stay home just because we've had so much to do here.
Yeah, and you have a new little one too. You have a new kid with you, and that's been, I'm sure, a whole new thing.
Yeah, it's been. Yeah, he's a little over 1 year old. It's been cool for me to be home and just see what my wife, what her life is like every day. She works part-time, mostly from home. So usually I'm on the go. I'm on Music Row, writing songs, going to meetings and recording sessions. So just being home has definitely given me a whole new appreciation for what her life looks like every day, taking care of him. And of course it's a lot of fun too, but it's also a ton of work. It's amazing. It's unbelievable how time consuming it is just to get meals ready and change diapers and get them ready for naps and everything. It's totally a full-time job. So I have a whole new appreciation for what she does here.
It's great. So you have a new album out, it's awesome. It's so great. And I'm just excited that people get to enjoy this, especially in this season of, finding content, finding new music that they love. It's called Blue Jeans. And I got to be at the release party here in Nashville, which was really, really cool how you had that set up and everything.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it was fun. It was really, that little place we had the release party was kind of the headquarters where we did everything. We shot all the photos there, all the video content to promote the album. So it was kind of fun to bring it all home and just celebrate the release with everybody there.
Sure. And can you quickly talk about, so that obviously gave those here in Nashville, the community, a chance to really get like a behind the scenes involvement in the creative process. So can you share more about, what the benefit is of having an event like that? To really give people a hands-on, in-person experience of what you created.
Yeah, I just, there's so much that goes into releasing a record beyond writing the songs and recording it. It's just, that's just like putting your jersey on. Then you got to get out and figure out how you're going to deliver it, how you're going to, get your message across, what it's going to look like and feel like. All that stuff is so key in the release. So, and I'm really proud of how we rolled it out and just kind of, the little world that we created around the record and invited people into. Mm-hmm. And that's really, I think, how I see the marketing of an album is I really try to create a world, even if it's just an aesthetic, hopefully it has a heart behind it. Mm-hmm. But, you want every piece of content you put out there to kind of feel like, it comes from that world and you want to invite people into it, even if it's just a 30-second video or a picture on Instagram. But it's, it's really cool for our peers in Nashville and our collaborators and professionals to kind of just literally step into the world. That's kind of as close as you can get to it and just kind of, see how it all came together.
For sure. And I have to say this album, I was thinking about just your whole voice as a songwriter, just in general. And I just think you've really done a great job of taking each of these albums and really representing that traveling songwriter theme and lifestyle, but also catering each album to the place that you are in your life right now. And so I feel like with Blue Jeans, can you explain a little bit how that is reflecting the experiences and the memories that you have been that you've been going through.
Yeah, I mean, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think Blue Jeans was, when that song was written, I kind of had a sense that this is the song that we can hang all these other songs on. It's kind of the overarching storyline in the record. Breaking in this life like a pair of blue jeans. It's everything. So that whole song is really, to me, it's written in metaphor just about my time in Nashville. Really, from leaving my hometown and everything I've gone through. Trying to get my career off the ground and falling in love, starting a family, and just stepping through, adversity and all that. It's kind of written just very zoomed out, looking at that whole chapter. And then all the songs in the record are kind of, I think, zoomed in. They're zoomed in on a story, on an emotion, and on just some facet of that whole journey. So, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of the bones of the record. Starts out with this overarching storyline, and then it just zooms in, and all the songs are just kind of snapshots of my life. From where I'm at right now, and just in my marriage and becoming a father, and starting to just experience just grief and the hardships of watching your grandparents, grow old, and everything in between. It's all kind of rooted in my life right now.
Can you talk about the song Picture and what that means to you? I think it's a beautifully written song. And even explaining like what it means to you now, going off of that, in this season where everyone's, they're in this uncertain time, but we're trying to make memories where we are in our lives right now. So can you explain that song and kind of, what led to you wanting to tell that story?
That song is, I wish every song writing session was like that song. It was just, wrote that with my friend Nicolette Hayford. It was the first time we met, first time we wrote together, and we were just having a conversation about social media. I'm sure we've all had this conversation at least one time, but just kind of talking about how, we're so affected by the things we see online, and it's so easy to compare yourself to what others are doing, to feel jealous, to feel insecure. And, obviously there are benefits to social media, right? We connect, we get inspired. That's a great thing about social media too, but there's definitely, I think, a dark side and a challenge with social media that just our human nature struggles with. I know I do. So we were just kind of having that conversation, how we see things, but we really don't see the whole picture. We see the thing that they wanted us to see, but we don't necessarily know everything behind that. And I think that's key to really understanding. And so it really started as this big picture conversation. And again, we kind of just zoomed in and told a small little love story, kind of about a little complicated love triangle that is also real, and we've both experienced that to some degree. So that's the picture.
Yeah, it sure is. And it's, I mean, again, it's an awesome song, and I can't wait for people to listen to it if they haven't already. But going off to the social media thing, you did a live stream from your living room. And there's been a lot of people doing that, a lot of different musicians, different creators who are going live and really sharing their craft. And so in your experience, what was that like? How much more did that mean to you to be able to connect with your fans on that level and be a part of this whole live streaming culture that we're in right now?
It meant so much to me. I haven't done many live streams. That's probably only the fourth one I've ever done in my career. I'm an in-person kind of guy. But obviously that's not an option right now. So, I did that, and I was just kind of like, I hope this goes well. I don't have a ton of experience with it. And I was just, I was really blown away. It gave me so much life to connect and see the feedback, just watching the comments scroll and the hearts pop up, and also just seeing all these, handles and faces of people that I know, people I've met along the way, between, just our audience and people that have hosted us for hometown shows and old friends of mine, and just kind of all collectively in this one little cyber moment. It was awesome. And I really think people enjoyed it. And I don't know, I think I might've enjoyed it the most though. It was really a special time.
It was, and I was able to tune in.
Thank you.
Yeah, and there was one song that you talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You covered early on in your career.
Was it a gospel song called Holiday at Sea?
I think so, yes.
Okay. So I can see I did technically write that song, but I said I didn't even write the song because it was so inspired. It was one of those songs that I wrote it was written in 3 minutes. So I say I didn't write it. I was gifted with the copyright, but it was I felt a gift, a gift from God. It was just one of those. I was having coffee with my wife, Gracie. We were newlyweds, and she read this quote to me by this guy named C.S. Lewis, and it was about heaven. And for some reason, it hit me so hard. I without even thinking about it, I got up and went to our little guest room where I had my guitar, and I played the song, and I didn't think about it. It just came out, and it was really special just because it was so inspired.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was going to be or what, it just kind of felt like one of these, I don't know, just one of those moments with something bigger than yourself. And I was in the middle of making my third record, Wide Open. And I thought I'd turn in all the songs for it. My producer, Mike, we thought we had it all together. And he just said, man, I feel like this record's missing one song. Is there anything you haven't shown to me yet? I was like, well, I got this one song that fell out of the ceiling the other day. I can show it to you. And I showed it to him, and he's like, oh yeah, that's what we needed. That's going to be the last track on the record. I got a vision for it. It's going to sound like church at a bar. I like it. So we ended up recording this song and made it the last track on the record. And, I had taken a loan out to make that album. I was a completely independent artist and no booking agent, no management team, just me and my friend Tim. And we didn't know what we were doing. In the fast-changing industry, we had no idea even how record sales were affected 2 years later, which they were. And we learned the hard way when we released the album, based on the budget we made for the previous album, and the sales were down big time. And, again, I just put in almost every dime I had into this record and was newly married. And I was like, felt like I blew it. And 2 days later, that song ended up getting placed in a Miller Lite commercial. Church at a Bar.
Yes.
And
we're on a boat, honestly, with the Miller Lite.
Yeah. So it ended up in the reason it's just so evident to me it was a gift is because my licensing fee for the song was to the dollar, the exact amount we took out to make the entire record.
Well, I mean, it's a great song, and I'm so glad that it got it's got its play, the play that it deserved.
It is. Thank you. It's one of my favorite stories to tell, one of my favorite songs to sing, and I was just trying to remind people because I know a lot of people are out of work and wondering, what's around the bend, and I imagine that's a really scary feeling. I think we're all feeling that in some way, but that story to me is just a great reminder of God's faithfulness and. And he's definitely been that way for our family. So we're super thankful.
So for the creator out there that's, honestly, any level of creator, someone out there that's trying to figure out this whole thing in the midst of what's going on in the world, what good do you hope comes out of this for the creative community? Because Nashville in particular has been through a lot with the tornado, with the virus. And I think it's been really cool to see our community is so quick to lend a hand to each other and to jump in and provide even something as simple as a song to give people comfort and peace in that way. So can you share just a little bit about, what good you hope to see come out of this for the music industry and for the entertainer?
Yeah, well, for one, one thing I already see is just, in these times, you can really see the strength and the love that is in our community. It's unbelievable. I really think it's unlike anywhere else in the world. And, you see that, I remember seeing whenever this tornado came through, we had people coming in from out of state to come help and bring relief. And they said the volunteers had already done all the stuff. Then they turned around and went home. So I just think in these moments, you really get to see how amazing our community is, because I think it's so special, and it's an honor to be a part of it. And I think, the good that I hope comes from this particular thing, this social distancing, is, my wife and I were just talking about last night, just how, everybody home is not a place everybody wants to go, right? I happen to love being home. But home is a hard place to be too. Home is a place where you really have to face yourself, and you have to face the people closest to you, and you have to be intimate. You have to be seen and known. And when you can't run around all the time, a lot of times it's like entertainers, right? A lot of us run at such a high pace. It can be a grueling pace depending on where you are in your record cycle and how your career looks. And even as songwriters, it can be, it can be a grind too. Every aspect of the industry for that matter, it's a grind. And I think this is an opportunity to really check in and emotionally and kind of sit with ourselves, and make peace with ourselves, and kind of evaluate what's important, who's important, and why we're doing what we're doing in the first place. I think it's a chance to get, hopefully for some inner healing, because I think we all have some room and space for that. And I hope that just sometimes takes time, and it takes quiet, and it takes removing distractions. And I think with that, the second part of that is reconnecting to why we do what we do in the first place. What's the heart of it? What keeps us going? What are some healthy drivers, some things that can really motivate us, from a good place.
And to just live in the present and be okay, not even in the moments where we're not creating something.
Yes.
That's show up with
that's huge. That's huge. I know, for me, I find so much of my, my value in just producing things and doing things, output, content
everywhere. It's just, and I think even for myself, I'm finding ways to do this show, because I almost just didn't. I was I'm going to let this ride out until the virus leaves. And then I'm no, I'm not. I mean, we have the technology. And I think that's the same thing for a lot of musicians is they're finding ways to create music with what they've got in their living rooms.
Absolutely. For me, it's given me a chance to write some songs by myself again, which I haven't done since I was, I do every now and then. I'll write a couple songs by myself. But, when I started writing songs, I only wrote by myself. And now it's, the Zoom thing I'm still getting used to. But I remember, hey, I can write songs by myself, and it's really nice to just sit there with my guitar and kind of just, again, reconnect with that in that process, because I think it's important.
I feel all the corporate people, they know how to work Zoom because this is their daily thing. And we're all over here we've never used Zoom before. And they're we literally, this is how we meet.
To our life, for sure.
Yes. Yeah. So before we get to the fun game that I have planned, I want to know a couple of things that you and your family have been doing for fun, just around the house, maybe a Netflix or Hulu series that you've been watching, or a podcast series. What's been inspiring you?
Well, my favorite part of every day is going for a long walk. We do that. We move to this new neighborhood. It's really peaceful and quiet. And we take a long walk every day, a couple miles, and that's been, I've loved that. As far as other than that, man, playing with our son, just getting on his level. We do this whole game now where I lay on the ground and act like I'm sleeping, and I snore, and then all of a sudden I wake up and I turn into this big monster and I come after him and he squeals real loud.
That's amazing.
And that's half the day right there. Is doing that. And then after he goes to bed, we've been very excited that the show Ozark has come back on.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that show?
Okay, so I keep seeing everything about it, and I'm thinking about watching that because I've heard a lot about Tiger King and all of these other intense. Yeah. So it's I'm kind of trying to meet in the middle, but I've heard a lot of great things about Ozark.
it's such a great show. We haven't watched this Tiger King thing yet. It seems like, I'm sure it's very entertaining. It also, it's like that ridiculous kind of like unsettling entertainment, which is great. People are loving it. We're probably going to watch it. But if you just want a great, like a well-written show with amazing character development,
Okay.
Ozark is awesome. So we've been enjoying watching that, and that's
I'll
kind of
get
been,
into that.
yeah. And we started a campfire out back and made s'mores the other night and
Fun.
grilling out, and my wife really enjoys baking, so she's been doing that.
Getting back to the basics, the things that we love to do.
Back to the basics, and it really it feels so good. I have really enjoyed this. It's been so grounding. I think that's the word I would say for us over here.
So we're gonna play a game,
Okay.
and I've titled it "Take Your Pick." So
Okay.
I'm going to name 2 different things, and you choose between the 2 of whether, like, which one's your favorite or which one you would immediately pick first.
Okay.
Ready?
So favorite or pick first. Okay.
Polaroid or disposable camera?
Polaroid.
Levi's or Wranglers?
Levi's.
Popcorn or Goldfish?
Popcorn.
Beer or whiskey?
Beer.
Binging a podcast or Netflix series?
Podcast.
Vinyl or mixtape?
Vinyl.
And then finally, camping in the woods or the desert?
Ooh. You know what? I've never camped in the desert. That sounds fun. I'm going with desert.
Awesome. Go to the, you know what I've heard? The White Sands in New Mexico is like amazing.
Really? Oh, wow.
I
That
just
sounds
see,
awesome.
plan it for your next Winnebago trip.
Yeah, no, for real. And do you think is there less bugs in the desert, you think?
Man, I know when I went, the air was drier, but it was also clearer.
Okay.
Like I didn't have allergies like I do here.
Yeah.
Like it was just a lot easier. Like I know in the Northwest, the air out there is like the best.
Yeah. I guess the downside is probably like just like scorpions and like rattlesnakes.
Not about that. I'm not about that's one
like,
thing.
it's almost like do you trade in like the gnats and the mosquitoes and the flies for like scorpions, and it's like there's less of them, so it's kind of more pleasant overall. You just gotta watch out.
It's always like worst nightmare. Snakes is like, that is as far, like I can deal with a spider or like a bug of some sort, but when it gets to like the poisonous, which I mean, I guess spiders can be poisonous, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We got it easy here in Nashville.
I hate snakes and spiders. I hate them both. But the difference between snake and spider for me is I'll go ahead and just like kill the spider, but the snake, I don't know.
You just don't want to even go there. I
just get stunned. I get stunned, and then I freeze, and I don't know what to do. So
love it. We got to talk about our fears, especially during this time.
Yeah,
You got to face them. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go find some right now.
Literally go find some. Be like, give it find the coronavirus and like give it to the snake. I really wish it did affect. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of wish it would affect like animals, like snakes.
That would be nice. That'd be one upside.
Really, just be a blessing, honestly.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Before you're gonna share a song with us, 72 Winnebago.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Pretty soon.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask a couple questions more about the album though, because again, it's amazing. So when all this stuff happened, you were on the picture tour, and you had a Nashville show planned coming up, but then you moved it to August and added some updates for people that aren't here to tune in. So can you share a little bit more about that and how they can get involved and look forward to it?
Yeah. So, man, it was a huge bummer to have to cancel the tour. This is like really that moment. I talked about how there's so much more that goes into a record than just making the record. And, a big part of releasing a record, I think, is having that moment with your audience that celebrates that new music and, and just connects over to the new songs. And so it was a bummer, and we're just trying to figure out, how can we bring this to everybody? Because we are gonna rebook the shows, but we weren't able to do it as soon as we wanted to, just because we have another baby on the way and all that. So we're gonna be playing here in Nashville on August 15th at 3rd and Lindsley. and we're gonna do a live stream of the show. We're still figuring out. It's gonna be free and it's gonna be available to everybody. We're still figuring out the best platform and how. But we want to make it. We really want to capture it the best we can and do more than just a phone. Kind of bring everybody into it. And just connect with as many people as possible and all the people that we're going to be missing this spring. So we're very excited for it.
And then people can head over to stevemoakler.com.
Yep,
SteveMoakler.com. Information on that.
All the details will be there. They'll also be, anywhere you follow me, if it's Instagram, Facebook. When it gets to be around, August 15th, you'll come see us, and we'll give you a link, and you can come to the show.
That's great. That's so great. And I'm excited about it as well. That'll be really cool for everybody to experience. And it'll be a fun time to get back to a little bit of normal life and be able to.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, hopefully we can pack out there in Lindsay and it'll be a big, physically in the flesh, we'll all be together. But then yes. I hope that, people will, that, all the folks that we've had to let down will put it on their calendar and, make a night out of it at their own home, put it on the TV. Put some drinks in the cooler and, make some popcorn and hang out, have some friends over. And, it's cool for me to imagine. I think that's one thing I've learned through this whole season so far is that we can, people are kind of gathering together as a family and tuning in to live streams and stuff and making it feel like more than just one person looking at a screen.
Right. I definitely find myself being a little bit more, not that I wasn't present before, but way more present in conversations.
Yeah, I bet.
I used to be because it's like what, all the noise has been eliminated.
Yeah.
One quick question that I almost forgot about. Are there any up and comers right now? And that can be any entertainer, be a musician, songwriter that you think that people need to keep on their radar right now?
Oh yeah. Man, there's a lot of great talent coming up. And there always is. That's the thing about Nashville. It attracts the very best. And Cassie Ashton is somebody. She's on my label and not my label, but on my management at Creative Nation, and she is just a force. I think she's the real deal. I mean, I have a lot of friends who are artists and people I've known over the years, but her artistry is so inspiring. She making her own clothing, designing her own logos.
I think that part blows my mind. The amount that she's able to create for herself is just like. Yeah,
it's unreal. Like, she's so gifted. And I think she's just, her persona, who she is and what she stands for, we haven't really seen anybody quite like her. And I think she's super compelling, and I think she's gonna be a force.
She's gonna take off for sure.
I think so. So I would say her. There's also even younger than her. I think there's this artist Caroline Watkins. I got it right.
You did. Awesome.
Drunk Girls in Bathrooms. It's awesome. I think she's awesome. I really think she's a really special songwriter, and I've had the chance to write a couple songs with her, and I think she's great. I expect big things from her. She's a little earlier on in her career than Cassie is, but I think the future is bright for her.
Well, I can't wait to check her out. I have not heard that name or those songs, so I'm going to definitely look it up after this is wrapped. All right, so let's get to your performance of 72 Winnebago. This is a single that you put out, I think it was December or like November, around that time?
Yeah, I think this was the Pocket 3 folk single, I think.
Yes. Which, if people don't know, you released songs in pockets in relation to the album theme.
Yeah, we did. The album's called Blue Jeans, and we released it in 3 pockets. Why were there 3 pockets? I don't know. That's just the way it should be. Most blue jeans have 4 pockets. I was so self-conscious about that, but then we're like, whatever, it's fine.
I mean, if you have like the 90s jeans that have like the random pocket on the side of the, do you remember those? Like cargo jeans or whatever?
Yeah. Were those 3, were they only 3?
I thought there was like, the 90s were a whole different, I feel like there was a pocket on the side of the leg or whatever. Or maybe they had like the chain link thing. I don't know.
They kind of had it all. The Junko or Janko jeans. I don't know if you knew about those as a girl, but those were. My mom never let me get them, and now I'm kind of thankful. I missed that moment in jeans. But well, here it is. This is called 72 Winnebago. Well, we picked it up in Kentucky, hitched it to my old Tacoma. Silver and white with a long red stripe and left on the way. We saw the curtains and I patched the floor. Hung up your dresses and I fixed the door. We had to keep it under 55. And a faster and a rock from side to side. We were tumbleweeds from Texas, Carolina, and rain. Didn't know where we were going, and we liked it better anyway. We were boardwalk birds in Jersey. We were Kansas fields of gold. When I think about me and you, I see us in the 72 Winnebago. All right, yeah. We were campfire lit, red wine lit, laughing in the face of a dream. I was broke as a joke, heart full of hope, just glad to have you next. You cut my hair on the side of the road, took me right where I wanted to go. We were burning love at both ends, two hands at the window. In the wind we were tumbleweeds in Texas, Carolina, and the rain. Didn't know where we were going, and we liked it better that way. We were boardwalk birds in Jersey, we were Kansas fields of gold. When I think about me and you, I see us in a 72 Winnebago. All right, yeah. We were dirt bones in Minnesota, desert skies in Santa Fe. The real world tried to sink in, we weren't in phase. And now Winnebago, oh yeah, sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. We were tumbleweeds in Texas, Carolina, and didn't know where we were going, and we liked it better that way. We were boardwalk birds in Jersey, we were Kansas fields of gold. When I think about me and you, I see us in 72 Winnebago. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. When I think about me and you, when I think about me and you.
Love it. Steve,
Yeah.
awesome.
Thank you.
72 Winnebago, and people are going to get to hear that live.
That's right.
Soon.
I can't wait.
That's awesome. I love it. Gosh, thank you so much for taking the time to be here and to just chat about your album and everything.
An absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be on your show.
Thanks. All right, take care of yourself. Stay safe. And I don't know, enjoy quarantining. Enjoy the sunshine.
I will. You too. I'm gonna get out there in it. It's so.
I know. I need to get out there before it goes away and it starts raining again.
Yeah, I might chase.
God forbid.
Now think of you.
Thank you so much. You're the
right.
best. Okay.
Hey everybody, this is Steve Moakler here. Check out my latest album, Blue Jeans, available now everywhere you listen to music.
It's the Libby Show. The Libby Show. It's the Libby Show. It's the Libby Show.